Samoyo and welcome to my channel! So today I decided to continue my Lifestyle Lolita 101 series. This time I'm going to share activities and hobbies for Lifestyle Lolitas. First of all, keep in mind that this is not an exhaustive list. You don't need to do all of that to be considered a lifestyle Lolita or to consider yourself a lifestyle Lolita. I personally consider myself a lifestyle Lolita and I don't do all of the things on this list. These are just the more common or typical ones that I could gather through my research. So yeah, keep in mind that this is just for like informational and inspirational purposes. So I already put together that list on my blog. The link will be in the description below if you prefer a written format. And I already kind of divided into categories. So the first category is activities and hobbies. The first one, and probably the most important one in my opinion as a Lolita, is having tea and tea parties. Honestly, this is kind of my favorite one to do as a daily and lifestyle Lolita. I need to have at least 1 cup of tea either in the morning or in the evening. And even back in the days when I didn't have a local Lolita communities, I will throw like tea parties for my friends because I think this is something kind of universal that everyone can enjoy to any extent. And you don't really need to make it like all fancy. It can also be a fun or spooky tea party. The second one is picnics. I really love picnics. I love eating in nature and I really like using like my bento accessories to go out and eat. And I think it's quite a nice activity to enjoy too with people that aren't necessarily into Lolita fashion. Another one is cooking and baking. I really think that any kind of dessert can be like styled in a Lolita way if you decorate it nice. I also put examples like making bentos to go out on a picnic or just for like your lunch at work or at school. And I also mention Japanese and French cuisine. I think that these are the most Lolita-like food to cook and make. Another one is one that I also enjoy is gardening. I am someone that loves to tend to my cute little garden. I have some cute flowers and some herbs. I used to have a vegetable garden back in the days, but it was a lot of work, so now I just keep flowers and herbs, and they are very useful for cooking too. And if you have like your own garden with your own flowers, you can also like cut them at the end of the summer and make some cute dry flowers. It's really lifestyle Lolita indeed, and you can decorate your house with it or make some craft with it. Another one related to nature is strolls in nature. This is something that I really enjoy. I love seeing new sceneries and going out like in a forest or near a river or near the sea. I am someone that comes from a very like natural foresty area, and this is something that I miss about living in the middle of a city. So when I have the opportunities, I like to go on strolls in a park or just in a more natural place. You can also keep a Lolita blog or a YouTube channel, just like I do. I think that sharing parts about your Lolita journey or your Lolita lifestyle or what inspired you as a Lolita is something very fun and lifestyle to do, and it's also nice if it can inspire others too. You can also keep a diary or journal. I am someone that does both. I got really into bullet journaling a couple years ago, and I still use my bullet journal every day. I think it's something that you can get very creative with, and I love using my little fountain pens to write in my journal or my bullet journal. You can also use like cute stickers or washi tape to decorate it, and this is something that I enjoy a lot too. You can also go out to karaoke. This isn't personally something that I do, but it's something interesting if you're into that. Another activity that is very Lifestyle Lolita is thrifting. I already mentioned that in my last Lifestyle Lolita 101 series. Most of the things that you're going to find to decorate your home are going to be in thrift stores, or like flea markets or antique shops. So it can be a nice activity to do with like non-Lolita friends also, so you can share some treasure. Another thing that you can get into is nail art. I don't have my nails painted right now, but I tried to get into nail art a while ago. I realized that I wasn't really good at it, but I still really enjoy like having pretty nails when I can. Another one is taking baths and pampering yourself with like face masks, pedicure, manicure, foot baths. This is something that I really enjoy. I think that the act of physical self-care is something very Lifestyle Lolita, because we put so many effort into our looks that I think it's very important to take care of our bodies too. And this is something that I personally really enjoy. I'm really into like Korean and Japanese skincare lately, which have been like kind of a miracle for my skin. You can also have some fancy baths with some flower petals, some bath salt, a cute bath bomb, some nice smelling oils, and you can have kind of like a little fancy pampering ritual. I try to have a bath at least once a week, like not to really wash myself, but to just relax and pamper myself with some classical music. Now we have the sports categories. I don't do any of these because I don't do like physical activity that are more towards Lifestyle Lolita. I personally do yoga, but I don't think it's very Lifestyle Lolita. You can try classical ballet, ice skating. I also put ballroom dance, especially waltz. You can also do like croquet. Another hobby you can have is collecting. You can collect teacups, either antique or modern. You can collect dolls. You can collect vintage toys. You can collect artwork. You can collect plushies. You can collect antique stuff, and of course Lolita clothes and accessories. So now we're into arts, crafts, and literature, and anything that is related to like learning and stuff. The first one is of course sewing. I think that sewing and learning how to have basic sewing skill is something that is very important as a Lolita, because you will know how to repair your clothes, or you can also try to make some accessories, some smaller accessories like wrist cuff or headdress and stuff. I think that is something very nice to be able to say, oh, I made this, or I made this dress. There's also embroidery, of course, like Momoko from Kamikaze Girls. Another thing that I really want to get into is cross-stitching. I think it's so cute, and there's so many like fancy or Lolita-like patterns you can find online. There's also knitting, hat making. This is a bit more caters towards OGs. Also jewelry making. I have a friend that is into making bracelets lately, and she makes different bracelets to match with her Lolita cords, so it's really nice. You have something kind of custom for yourself. Another one that I try to get into is plushie making or amigurumi. These are some examples of what I mean by amigurumi. Some people don't know what it is. Yeah, I tried to get into that, and I made a plushie for my partner. I don't know if I still have the picture. If I still have it, I'm gonna put it here. So I made him a dragon, and it was my first time making a plushie, but it was really fun to do, and I think it's such a nice gift to give to your friend, and I think it's very Lolita-like. You can also get into doll making or like making your own custom dolls. You can also get into decoden. I'm going to put some example here if you don't know what it is, but it's basically like making some cases or some stuff with a lot of beads and pearl, and I think it's very pretty and cute. You can also get into floral arrangement. This is something that I really want to get into, but I haven't had the chance yet. You can also get into painting, and more specifically watercolors. I think that watercolors are so dreamy and fancy, and they are the most like Lolita-like way to paint, in my opinion. I tried to get into it like 2 years ago. This is what I made back then. You can also get into drawing, either traditional or digital. It can get useful if you want to design your own prints and stuff, or if you want to draw Lolita fashion design in your journal. You can also get into writing, or more specifically poetry. I used to be really into writing back when I was in college, but I tried to get back into writing a couple months ago with a friend, and I think that I just need that creative sparkle to get back. You can also get into calligraphy. When you have like a fountain pen or a quill pen, it's really nice to practice like having a nice handwriting. Scrapbooking. I think this also kind of go into the journal. Scrapbooking is more like crafty journal, in my opinion. I think that having a scrapbook for Lolita fashion or your Lolita lifestyle is really fun. You can put some of the brand tags you collect or nice freebies that you get whenever you buy something, or you can collect like museum tickets or concert tickets when you go out with your community. You can also put some like fabric or lace or ribbon samples whenever you are making something. This is something that I also tried to get into years ago. I really should get back into it because it was really fun. As I said earlier, you can also get into flower pressing. You can buy your own flowers or grow them yourself and add them in your scrapbook or journal, as I said, or make jewelry with them. You can also try to make your own bath products, like your bath bomb, your bath salt. You can try to make like potpourri or some flower and oils blends for your bath. And finally, you can also try to learn a new language, like Japanese, Korean, or French. I'm lucky enough to be a French speaker already. These are the languages that are more like lifestyle Lolita. I think that Latin will also be in that category too. I would also really like to learn Japanese and to also get better at like Old English. I studied a little bit of it in school back in the days, but I would really like to get back into that because it was so fun. Now, let's get into the entertainment categories. I gave a couple examples of movies or series that are more lifestyle Lolitas, like period movies like Marie Antoinette, Elizabeth, Disney movies, especially princess movies. Anne of Green Gables. For anime and manga, I really recommend Rose and Maiden. Some Lolita brands have collaborated with the anime or manga before. The outfits are very Lolita-like indeed, and the story isn't like too childish. It's actually really nice to watch. There's also the infamous Chobits, Pandora Hearts, and from the same author you have also Vanitas no Carte, which I'm watching right now with a friend and I really like it. Black Butler, Princess Tutu. These are just like the main ones. Now for video games, you have of course the ZeliaVee series. They have collaborated, I think, with a few Lolita brands before. It's kind of like you have your own boutique and there's actual Lolita clothes in it. I really love that series. There's also the Animal Crossing series, especially the last one, New Horizons, because they kind of like stepped up their fashion game into that game. Like there's actual Lolita dresses that you can buy, either like more gothic or sweet. They have headdresses, they have head bows. You can also put your own design in the game, and there's some people that I've tried to like replicate brand design, and it's not that difficult to find the ones you like online. And in that category, I also want to add the World's End With You series. There's a Lolita brand into that series too. It's not like necessarily a Lolita game, but it takes place in Shibuya and they have all kinds of fashion and they have kind of like EGL, OG, gothic Lolita fashion. Now for books, I really recommend literary classics in general, like Shakespeare, Jane Austen, Baudelaire. You can also try to get into fantastic literature like The Little Prince, Alice in Wonderland, and children books and stories in general. And for music, there is a lot of Japanese bands in general that are inspired by Lolita fashion, especially towards visual kei. You have like Malice Miser, Moi Dis Moi, Moonkana, Ali Project, Canon Wakashima. These are just the first examples that came to my mind, but a lot of the visual kei culture and scene from a certain era are very inspired by Lolita and gothic Lolita fashion. You can also enjoy J-pop like Kiari or Perfume. And there is of course classical music. My favorite are Tchaikovsky, especially the Nutcracker Suite. I really love it. And also Swan Lake, it's one of my favorites. And I also really love listening to Chopin. I really love piano in classical music, and Chopin is one of my favorite composers, along with Tchaikovsky. Tchaikovsky is a hard first. So yeah, I hope that these can inspire you in your daily life if you wanted to know like which activities or hobbies would suit Lolita lifestyle better. I know that back in the days I had a lot of trouble finding like a complete and cohesive list of activities and hobbies for lifestyle Lolitas, so I decided to make my own. My next Lifestyle Lolita 101 will probably be the values of Lolita fashion and the lifestyle and what they mean to me, as well as the Princess Code. If you remember the Princess Code, you've been here for a while. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me in the comments what are your favorite ways to be and feel lifestyle Lolitas. Do you have any other activities and hobbies that you think are suited to the lifestyle? Tell me about it in the comments. And we also have a featured shortcake today. So today's featured shortcake is Charles-Ellie. So thank you so much for your support. It means a lot to me. If you want to be the next featured shortcake, all you got to do is support me on Ko-fi. The link is in the description below. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't yet. So until next time, please stay safe, take care, and we will see each other in my next video, my little shortcakes. Bye!